Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order. This is the agenda for the special meeting on Tuesday, November 12th. We are still doing a public viewing online. They're recorded and available online. And we were also going to acknowledge that we have the privilege of being working, working and playing on the unceded First Nations land of Haudenosaunee territory. So approval of the agenda, folks.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
That was Lewis and Deck. Additions, deletions.
I don't have it printed, but you wanted to discuss the email that you received. Healthcare.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's carried. Thank you. Business arising is the election appointment of the chief elections officer and deputy chief election. Oh, yeah, that's right. CAO Nelson Smith, I'll turn it over to you.
Nothing further to add with this.
There's a recommendation contained in that report on page 406.
Recommend that Delana Janice be appointed as chief election officer for the 2025 by-election, and that Pete Nelson Smith be appointed as deputy.
Only if you're not going to appoint one of us.
Nope, sorry, I just was making sure these can be done right. Siri, Adam, feel free, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, and that Pete Nelson Smith be appointed as deputy chief election officer for the 2025 by-election, and that the 2025 by-election be held on January 18th, 2025.
Thank you, Councillor Lewis.
Second.
Councillor Janice. Questions, comments?
Are you in?
Looking forward to that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? That is carried. Funding expiry through to the CAO.
Thank you. So in 2023, we did apply for community to community grant funding, which we were provided with. I did reach out to the two managers for Haudenosaunee to try and arrange for community to community meetings. No dates were ever established, and we're coming to the end of our funding agreement, which is November 27th of this year. There is not much likelihood that we'll get a meeting organized prior to the end of that funding. So just providing council with information that we will have to return the funding, and I will alert the nation that we will be doing so.
Thank you for that. Questions, comments? I just want to put, oh, go ahead, yeah.
Gonna return it? Can we apply for it again?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that this is money that is there in a pocket for this.
Yeah.
So all it requires is letters of support that the other parties are going to be involved in the conversation. That was part of this agreement. It's part and parcel, but it didn't happen. So as long as everyone's clear on it, that we are returning it, we can reapply at any time. We can also reapply as part of a bigger or smaller project, and we can stack those funds on top of each other as well. So if that's works better for anybody next time, it's another consideration, another kick at the can.
Perfect.
Yeah. Anything else from anybody? Hearing none, there's no recommendations involved in that necessarily, so we are going in camera. Somebody could, I'm going to make a motion that we go in camera under section 91A, personal information, 91I, receipt of advice for a solicitor client privilege.
Second.
Questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's carried. Public question period. We have a gallery here with us this evening, 2 members of the public. Any questions, comments? I won't, oh geez, I don't really have the rules right off the top of my head either. You're allowed to write, you're allowed to comment on anything that is contained within this agenda. And there are time limitations. There are all sorts of other things. We ask that you be respectful. Really, we also don't have all the answers. So we have no obligation to answer you here tonight. We may defer you off to another department or to ask the question to the CAO or the staff here during village hours.
And we don't take checks.
Questions or comments?
I'll do it. Sure. My name is Mel Schmerl. I live at 506 Reno, and I know that the tireless efforts of the people in this room are not always acknowledged and are not always acknowledged publicly. So I would like to thank each and every one of you for everything that you do and the tireless hours that you put into our community. You are appreciated, even though you may not feel it all the time.
That was not on the agenda, so I cannot take that comment. No. Thank you for that. I'm sure we all appreciate that here.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I second that.
So motion moved it, you second. No, I'm just kidding. All in favor?
Thanks, Melka.
Just men are moving around, aren't they?
I love it.
By-election coming.
There is a by-election upcoming, folks. Okay, with that, we're going to thank you for being in the gallery, for waiting so long, for being involved, for being part of the discussions and the process tonight. We appreciate it.